There's shared grief this week as the NFL injury bug continues, and Coast Knows Ball, we're down a host today. Additionally, the 72 Dolphins can rest easy as they will remain the top banana for yet another season. And as players cannot stop fumbling the football, analysts can't stop fumbling name pronunciations. We're going to be talking about all that and more right here on Coast to Coast. Take it away, Anthony.
Coast Knows Ball is what we're doing today, and we are down a host.
Yeah.
Vitor is traveling. He's somewhere in an undisclosed location. So we hope that he's enjoying.
We're not allowed to know.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't even tell us. Maybe the CIA got him. Who knows? But yeah, so hopefully he's enjoying himself, probably with his girlfriend, is what I would imagine, right? But yeah, so prayers up for my boy Vitor. We're gonna roll with the episode regardless, because Coast Knows Ball, the NFL don't stop, even if Coast Knows Ball might stop. So we're still here. We're still here. Quoting Tom Brady now, man. That's where we are with the state of the show. So,
yeah. Hey, the C in Coast stands for consistency, baby. We gotta upload no matter what.
Yeah, Consistency Coast. That's our new name.
Yeah.
All right, so week 5 is in the books, of course, and now week 6 is looking ahead. We're about a third of the way through the NFL season, which is super exciting. A little less than, especially when you count the postseason. But we have, I think, a fairly decent idea on who is great and who really sucks. But there's still a lot of mediocre here, and a lot of teams that are going to be filling out this playoff race come December, or late November, early December. So that'll be a lot of fun, and we're going to try to help divvy that out through our weekly tier list with some slightly different names as per usual. In the S tier, we've got same thing every week: superhero, supervillain, super healthy, and Super Bowl. In the A tier this week, we had alive and well last week. This week we have actually thriving. In the B tier, same as always, bougie. They are just bougie. They're a little better than C, but they think they're a lot better than C, right?
Oh yeah.
Last week we had Crypt Keepers. This week we have creeping around. They're just like those annoying little pests. They won't leave you. They won't leave you. They're annoying, but they need to be recognized in some capacity. And then I kept Dead Men Walking from last week as well. I think it still really works for the teams that belong in that tier.
That one might stick. We like that.
Yeah. And then Funeral Time is in the F tier this week. I think that is reserved for the teams that we truly believe probably their season is over, and they'll be vying for a top pick in the next season's draft. So yeah, that's what we've got. We are ordered by games this time. Hopefully we can expedite the process, move a little bit quicker because of that. So Jacob, any crazy thoughts on the Thursday night game between the Niners and Rams? We both picked the Niners, which was freaking great.
I was about to say, I told you so. Don't look at my other picks, but I told you so on this one.
Yeah, so the 49ers, the 49 IRs is their nickname, especially with the last few seasons, frankly. But they pull off a huge win on the road. Not really. Not really on the road in Levi's South there, but in Los Angeles against a tough opponent in the Rams. Another divisional game that they have, gritted out a win, essentially. So, look, looking at the roster, you're like, oh man, can we really place them super high? But I think just the quality of play, the quality of the play calling and the coaching on this team,
they're thriving, man.
Yeah, I think they are thriving despite all the adversity. And that I think that really separates great coaches from okay or even bad coaches, or at least this season, great coaching from bad coaching, is the difference between the 49ers and, say, the Cincinnati Bengals or the Baltimore Ravens, going through very similar injury bouts there, but they're the teams that are losing in the NFL. So, yeah, I think they are totally worthy of that. And the Rams, probably not far behind. It was a very close game at the end of it, but certainly below them and maybe toward the top of bougie, but I'll hear you out here.
Nah, I think the Rams definitely belong in bougie. I mean, the category just fits them. They are definitely just barely above C tier, and they definitely think they're S tier. So let's keep them right there. I don't think they're top of bougie. I think they'll probably end up towards the middle, but we can see how it goes.
No, you're totally right about them thinking that they're still at the top because, and it's not really just them, but it's the NFL media in general. Like nobody's really, I feel like the Friday after the game, everyone's talking, we need to have conversations about Brock Purdy versus Mac Jones. We need to talk about the Niners as maybe potentially a real sleeper threat in the NFC, and maybe the Rams aren't as good as we thought. They lose to two tough opponents, but lose back-to-back weeks in a really poor fashion both ways with special teams mishaps, fumbling the football, you name it, and getting, you could say, well, definitely outcoached in one of the games. But we've kind of resorted back now after the full week 5 slate to no, this is still a top 5 team in the NFL, and I just don't see it based on how they've been playing the last couple weeks. Their stock is definitely down.
100%.
Okay.
And I want to talk about this next game because I didn't watch a single bit of it other than one play. But the one play is so NFL. And it's just, how do you not recognize that the ball was deflected by the camera line on
Oh,
that field goal?
yes. Yeah, okay. I was wondering where you were going with that, but 100%. I don't see, it's so bizarre because the officials need to be on that, of course. But also, did they like try to like challenge it or induce an official review at all either? Like I feel like that is one where if you are Kevin O'Connell or anybody on that sideline that has some kind of sway, you are making sure the officials make that known. I don't know.
Hmm.
But it's a tough one.
Yeah, definitely a tough one. It just was so weird because, like, as soon as you saw the kick, you're like, that didn't look right.
Hmm.
But funny that it went unnoticed. Glad the Vikings still got the win. Speaking of the Vikings, I think their quality of play is probably creepy, but I would say that their vibe is bougie.
I don't disagree with you. I definitely think that they probably do belong in C tier still. They're not playing bad football, but very clearly limited in a lot of categories. But man,
Hmm.
I mean, the vibes are that like they can still vie for a playoff spot, if JJ McCarthy comes back, if he even plays the rest of the year, who knows? Carson Wentz
Or
hasn't
if
been
Carson
bad.
Wentz figures it out.
Yeah, right. So like I definitely agree with you. I think they're getting a little bit maybe overrated, if you will, by the media. So I'm okay with bottom of bougie here for the Vikings. And it's not like it's a bad placement. They're 3-2, they're
Right.
above 500. We can't say the same for a lot of good teams in the NFL. So the Cleveland Browns, though, what did we have them last week? I mean, they kind of choked that one away a little bit. We had them in 4 games, already forgot. Um, yeah, they might still be in funeral time, probably toward the top once again. Uh, they're either bottom of Dead Man Walking or top of funeral time for me.
I think they should be in bottom of Deadman Walking. They have a win over a quality team, and they've played pretty much every game competitively except for the Ravens game, which seems to be the anomaly of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, perhaps. The only thing I would say to disagree with that or to push back is that, did they really justify moving them up after week 5? And I could hear an argument that says yes, because they did play solid football overseas, but they also still lost the football game. Dylan Gabriel didn't look very good. He didn't lose them the football game, but he also didn't win them the football game either by any means. So I just don't know if there's enough there to warrant moving them up. But maybe we had it wrong last week.
So I think we're gonna have a couple teams moving down to funeral time, honestly. I think the Giants and the Dolphins are both going to be additions in that tier later on.
I've got a
And
couple more as
so,
well, maybe. Maybe one or two
right.
more.
And
Yeah.
so I'm leaning towards moving the Browns up to Deadman Walking as a little reward for them getting a fifth round move up out of Joe Flacco.
Okay. All right. I will concede to that point. And look, it's not like they're a terrible team. I think they are fairly frisky, and it's mostly because of that defense. The defense is going to keep them in games all year. And so if they face a weaker defense on the opposition, I think that they could squeak out a couple of really, really solid wins, and potentially play spoiler down the stretch too. So Dead Man Walking is good with me. The New York
Mhm.
Giants, one of those teams that is right there as well on the cusp, but those turnovers were brutal on Sunday, man. And I'm so glad that I,
5 turnovers.
yeah, and I'm so glad that I picked the Saints there. Look, with exception to the Seahawks game, the Saints have been very competitive all year. They've been a tough out for every team, again, except for the Seahawks. So I've
Mhm.
been impressed with them despite the record. They've definitely not been the worst NFL team this year, and frankly, not even a bottom three NFL team this year. And so I felt like,
Unfortunately.
yeah, yeah, unfortunately for you, but I felt like in New Orleans against Jackson Dart in his second career start, who, didn't win the Giants the game against the Chargers. That was more of a Chargers fucking around and finding out, frankly. Um, so
Right.
like, so I wasn't bought in yet, and Jackson Dart still has tons of upside. He can still improve greatly, but the turnovers are definitely a big concern right now. But at the same time, I don't mind some of the gunslinger stuff because you are a bad football team and you just want to see what works in a way.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely funeral time for me.
100%. Saints also going to be escaping funeral time. I mean, this one win honestly puts them above the Browns too for me. I think that their quality of play has just been pretty solid in all of their games. There is something to say about losing to the Cardinals, who were playing not to lose, who are also really, really bad.
Hmm.
But I don't particularly care because they also just kind of dominated that Giants game. So,
Right, right,
gonna
yeah.
give it off the hotter team.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I love that placement ahead of the Browns. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys off of a bye. Did they have a bye? No, this week
No,
was
they
the
killed
first
the
week of
Jets.
buys. Yeah. No, I meant the week before, but they just had the tie against the Packers is what I
Oh,
was thinking
yeah,
of.
I'm an idiot. Obviously, they played the Jets. What's up?
uh, but yeah, so they completely dominated the Jets. The defense didn't need to do much work, and that's probably why it looked okay this week. But man, really dominant offense. I think that, if this team didn't have the worst defense in the NFL, we'd think about them making some noise come December. But I still have serious concerns about the defense. I do have concerns about consistency overall. I think if they go against a really tough defense that is really well coached, then they can see some problems, similar to what they saw earlier this year in like against the Eagles in week 1, for instance. Even
Hmm.
though they moved the ball well on them, they just couldn't score points. So I think they are a worthy addition to creeping around here, because they're not out of it yet, certainly, but they need some help still.
You know, you're gonna hate this take, but honestly, I think if they don't trade away Micah Parsons, they probably have 4 wins because they probably don't tie to the Packers. They probably don't lose to the Eagles,
I don't
and
think
their
I
only
hate that
loss
take
is to the
actually.
Bears.
I really don't mind that take at all. They've played really tough football again outside of the Chicago Bears game, and it's so obvious what they're
Mhm.
missing up front there on the defensive side. So, yeah, I don't mind that take at all. And they might be in first in the NFC East if
Right,
that
and
was the
Dak
case.
would be in like top 5 MVP discussions like he normally is around this time of the year.
Right, right.
But that being said, I want to say on the Jets real quick. Riz said it best with the "What the fuck has Aaron Glenn done for this team?"
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's a GM that paid Justin Fields for 2 years to be a starter, and that's just mind blowing. Not only the 20 million per year, but the fact that he paid him 2 years of starter money is what's so mind blowing. I don't understand how we're in 2025 and people cannot comprehend this guy sucks at quarterback. But
Yeah, I'm totally with you there as well. I really, I wasn't a big fan of the Aaron Glenn signing, but I thought that it could be, it could add some discipline to this team, right? This team that's been so undisciplined, even under Robert Saleh over the past few years, but they've been one of the most undisciplined teams in the NFL still. So I really don't exactly what, as you said, and exactly as Riz from the Goat House said as well. Like what is he actually doing for this team? Because it feels like nothing. He has had no footprint so far this season, and it's reflected in their quality of play. They're playing terrible football, just really inopportune turnovers as well. Like they can drive down the field and then Brees Hall just fumbles the football, which happened this
also,
week.
how did the Jets close as the minus odds team in this game? I don't care that they were the home team. They shouldn't have been
Did
within
they
3 of the
really?
spread. Yes, they
That's
closed
unbelievable.
-2.5.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy to me because yeah, like this was borderline survivor pick territory, for the
Yeah,
Cowboys here. It was very
100%. This
confident
was in
win.
every parlay.
Yeah.
This was in every parlay. Like, I don't get it.
Right.
But
Oh, well,
Broncos, Eagles, Broncos country, we tried.
hey, let me just pat myself on the back here, all right? Because there have been a lot of people on TikTok, and look, we absolutely love the
Yeah, we love it.
the
I enjoy
engagement.
reading the
Yeah,
hate. It's
and it's
funny.
funny. It's super funny. But hey, can you give me some fucking credit here, man? Like, I picked a lot of upsets last week, and it actually paid off. Like, in a week where a lot of people did really poorly on pickups, I got 8 picks correct. So I'm happy with myself after last week. But this is what the one that I'm like, this is a big time, like, it was an emotional pick, yes.
Actually,
Because,
this one and the next one.
yeah. Well, I didn't actually pick the Panthers. I wanted to, but I didn't. And we'll get to it in a second. But it's really funny how that's panned out for me this season with the Panthers. But yeah,
Yeah.
like emotional pick. It was an obvious upset, but I just had a feeling about this one. The Eagles have not played solid football this season. They're winning games, but they're not doing anything when they're winning. And eventually, one team is going to show up and. They were down early too, but they just played really sound, solid football in the second half. And yeah, there was maybe some questionable calls and some favorable officiating for the Broncos side, which was surprising given that they're playing the Eagles here. But man, I just really felt good about that pick. And then the people on TikTok it's like it don't exist in that clip. Nobody's brought it up.
They're like, this podcast doesn't know ball. Like, you picked the Broncos. We went 1 for 2. Like, that's not.
Yeah, 1-2 against like weren't they a pretty hefty favorite? In Lincoln Financial Field. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were -4.5.
Like I don't know. It's weird to me. I know that a lot of people don't watch the whole clip, and so they see Jacob intentionally being smug at the beginning, like everybody on the Broncos sucks. I hate the Broncos. Give me the Eagles, and they're like, no, this fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020 type of bullshit, But
Wait till we get to the first pick of this week.
but hey, look, keep them coming. Keep them coming. We want it. We want it. Just give us a follow as well on every platform, please. It'll help us out so much. But yeah. So Broncos, I think, man, I really think they're trending upwards, and I think they're playing really good football. So I do kind of want to put them in actually thriving, but I will totally hear and concede an argument for Bougie as well, but ahead of the Rams.
No, to be honest with you, fuck the Broncos, but they are probably above the Niners for me in
Really?
thriving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, they have serious momentum here, so I
They
don't.
have really high quality wins, and their 2 losses were last second field goals.
They were
And the Colts loss was bullshit.
very
The Colts loss
controversial.
was the biggest bullshit.
Yeah, very
So
controversial. They could be 4-1. They could be 5-0. Like that's what we're talking. But at the same time,
Yeah.
like the 49ers could also be 5-0 if they don't give up a punt return touchdown, if one of those turnovers doesn't exist. So like we're looking at teams like that have shot themselves in the foot maybe once or twice,
I
or
think
maybe
they're
even
neck
through no
and
fault
neck.
of their own. But I think they're neck and neck too. So I'm gonna put the Niners ahead because I had the Broncos a little bit lower than you. But it
Okay.
really, for all intents and purposes, doesn't matter. Eagles, however,
Sounds good.
man, I mean, they're definitely behind
They have to still be in
Denver.
thriving.
Yeah,
They still have to be in thriving.
definitely behind Denver, of course, because Denver just beat them. But
Yeah, I think they just drop right behind them, honestly. I think
Mhm.
that's a good spot for them.
yeah, okay. Yeah, Dolphins, Panthers, and the thing that I was alluding to. Yeah, let's just throw them in there right now. Definitely ahead of the Jets. They just beat them, shellacked them on Monday Night Football. But the thing with the Panthers, I don't think I'm correct picking a Panthers game yet this season. Every time I pick them, they fucking embarrass me. And then every time I'm like,
You didn't
dude,
pick
the other
them
team.
against the Jags, did you? Oh no, you did.
I did. Well, I thought that was like a 26-23 football game, and then they got their
Yeah, you
brains
thought it was
beaten.
close.
Um,
Mhm.
But so like every time, every Jet Panthers game, they're like, man, this team fucking sucks now. I can't pick them. And then I go against them, and then they win the fucking football game, like against the Falcons. And then like this last week, I wanted to pick them in this one, but I didn't because I'm like, man, they're just gonna stink it up again for no reason. But they
Did
clutched
you
up.
pick them against the Patriots?
I did right after they won 30-0 against the Panthers. I'm like, okay, here we go. We're finally making a run here. And then they lose
Yeah, that's when you
42
were
to
like,
6.
Bryce Young has been really good since the fourth quarter against the Cardinals.
Yeah. Then he stunk it up again, and then he stunk it up in the first quarter of this game. But he really composed himself in the second half there, and was very clutch. The team was very clutch, not just him. So that was nice. They're going to be a frisky football team going forward, and their strength of schedule isn't very tough. I mean, it's the NFC South after all, so they can string together a nice win streak potentially upcoming. So who knows? This could be this. I think they're behind Dallas in creeping around, and interestingly enough, they're playing each other this week.
Dallas is gonna fuck them up. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, given that I'm probably picking them this week, we know it's gonna happen just based on that.
That makes perfect sense. Texans, Ravens. I thought Lamar was gonna play, so
Yeah, tough one to swallow. But they
yeah.
really don't win even if Lamar plays this one. That defense is
No, they
fucking
don't.
brutal.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. They're dead men walking, and at the bottom, they're behind the Browns right now. Frankly, this is a hard team to watch. And this is what I was alluding to with the
No, they
coaching
beat
thing.
the Browns 52 to like something.
When they were healthy, and that was 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago now. I really don't know how much
but,
stock.
like,
I really don't know. But like, if they were on the field today, are you picking the Ravens?
no. Well, yeah, no, I'm not because Dylan Gabriel is starting now for the Browns. So no.
So you would be picking the Browns over the Ravens if they played this week. All right, so that's kind of why I want them behind the Browns right now. I mean, look, it's
Ian,
bad.
I'm sorry. Preseason, I picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. Don't hate me.
It's all your fault. Yeah, just a brutal showing, and it's gonna get worse. I really think. They're playing the Rams this week. That's a tough matchup. I guess the team that's lost 2 straight, they're pissed off. Ooh boy, that could be a 50 burger. Like, who knows?
Kyron's gonna run the ball down their throat.
Yeah, it's gonna be ugly again. But I digress. The Texans, however,
Bet Tutu Atwell first touchdown. What's the odds on that? What are the odds on Tutu Atwell to get the first touchdown?
it's got to
in
be
that
high.
game?
It feels like he only gets the ball on a bomb in the second half. Doesn't really get touches in the first half.
But it's gonna be first play of the game bomb. Shit. Okay. Touchdown props. Where is this shit? Okay, go ahead with the next team. I'll find this in a second.
Well, we still have to place the Texans. They've put together 2 nice wins over the last 2 weeks, and so they're definitely trending up. And the run
Probably
game,
bougie.
looked a lot better this week, which is really nice. I'm not ready to put them in bougie yet. I think they're right next to the Cowboys here. They're kind of the opposite of the Cowboys in a sense, where they have like an elite defense, top tier defense, but they really struggle on offense almost always, whereas the Cowboys have a borderline elite offense and they really struggle on defense. So I think they kind of go hand in hand. You could put the Texans ahead or the Cowboys ahead, doesn't really matter. I'd probably lean Cowboys if they went head to head.
Fair enough.
The Raiders is another team that I want to put here in funeral time. It looks bad.
Yeah.
It looks real
Since week
bad.
1, it's looked bad.
Yeah. Geno Smith has lost it. He sucks. And it's kind of weird because this is another take that I think I'm vindicated by, because I didn't get why so many people thought that even last season, like he put together some nice games toward the end of last season, but he was not the same player that he was 3 seasons ago. And to expect that player to come back again against with the Raiders this time around, I just didn't really see it going into the season, and it's looked really bad since the first week. I almost ate my hat in the first week. He had the one bad interception, but it looked good outside of that. But since then, brutal stuff. Not just him though. The defense isn't good. They're actually playing to what they look on paper, which is kind of what I thought would happen this season. So yeah, not a lot of optimism there. That's one of the worst blowouts I think I've ever seen, frankly. Even though the score wasn't like the score was really bad, but it's not the worst we've ever seen. But that was a brutal blowout. That being said, the Colts are working their way close to superhero, supervillain, Super Bowls. If they keep beating the shit out of their opponents every week, man, just like that. And look, it's the Raiders. I get that as well, but they just feel unstoppable on offense right now. Jonathan Taylor is just such a dominant runner. He has been all season.
Is he offensive player of the year right now?
Absolutely. And I would argue like Daniel Jones should be getting some MVP buzz as well because he's been playing fantastic football. But frankly, Jonathan Taylor should too, because I think both of these players and their quality of play so far this season is exactly why the Indianapolis Colts are going to be contenders moving forward for the rest of the year and are 4-1 and have some fantastic wins and played the Rams very close. And frankly, if A.D. Mitchell doesn't fumble that football, they might have won that game as well. This is another one where just one little error shooting themselves in the foot, preventing them from being undefeated so far. And they've vastly exceeded my expectations going into the year. I always thought that they had a higher ceiling with Daniel Jones in at quarterback, but I was expecting 8-9 wins with Daniel Jones at quarterback, not potentially like 12 or 13 at this rate.
Right. Completely on the other end of the spectrum, the league's worst team.
The Tennessee Titans?
Yeah.
Are they the worst? I mean,
I think so.
It's close. I can't have a winless team above them right now, I don't think. I
Dude,
really
this
don't
feels
know.
so fucking shitty. Why are there so many teams that are going to be picking above the Saints? Oh my god.
Yeah, that win really fucked you guys. Oh man, it's kind of brutal. And the problem is there are just a lot of bad teams in the NFL right now. Like I think parity, over the last like few years has been very good. We've had a lot of mid basically, and then a couple of really good, a couple of really bad teams. But this year there are a lot of really good teams and a lot of really bad teams is the way I'd put it. So really tough for parity reasons, really tough for power rankings reasons as well. Like, am I really going to crucify you for putting the Titans last? No, because they've been playing so awful, but also the Jets are winless. Like they're 0-5, which is fucking crazy,
Yeah, but they came within 2 points of the Bucks.
They did, but again, it was the Bucks shooting themselves in the foot in this whole second half and taking their foot off the gas as well, on top of shooting themselves. But whereas like the Titans, that was a monumental collapse by the Cardinals, who I think are dead men walking at this point, and maybe right there probably with the Saints somewhere. They can't put a win together right now.
Put us above them. Fuck that. Jawan Johnson catches that ball, we win that game.
Hey, I'm with you there. I'm totally okay with that placement. And so you have to give them some credit for capitalizing on that kind of collapse and actually doing it, because I think if the Jets were playing in that game, they don't execute there and they don't win that football game. But because it's the Titans and they're the second worst team in the NFL, they win the football game. So that's the bar.
Oh, I forgot the Titans won last week.
Yeah, they won. And so that's why I'm saying second to last as opposed to last.
No, that's fair. Yeah, they're definitely above the Jets. My bad.
All right.
Washington, this game kind of disappointed me on both sides.
Okay.
I wasn't really super impressed with either the Chargers or Washington. I felt like this was a lot more sloppy football than I expected, but I think that Washington's probably top of bougie or bottom of thriving.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you that it was a bit of a sloppy game. But much more sloppy for the Chargers. The roughing the punter was a
Oh yeah.
huge penalty that took away a touchdown. I mean, McConkey
Hmm.
returns that for 6. Some really crucial turnovers, and not being able to move the ball in the second half. Whereas like the Commanders, had a 10-0 lead, deficit rather, going into the halftime, and they were able to just show up and show out in the second half and didn't abandon the run game, and the run game started to really get going in that second half there. So I think that's a really impressive win, to win by 17 when you were down. You had 27 unanswered points. Like that's usually unprecedented in football. So I think bottom of actually thriving is good, and therefore the Chargers, I think, have to move a tier down because they lost by 17 points.
Oh, 100%.
And probably below the Rams as well, just probably
Hmm.
for health reasons mostly. But yeah, another week where Herbert looks human. Again, he's not the reason they lost. It's the run defense was really bad. That Quentin Johnston fumble was brutal. He was having a nice day until then. The running back's going down with the injury. Hampton is now on IR, I think. So tough break, but here we are.
Yep. The Detroit Lions, sir, your private jet will be ready shortly. You are a superhero, super villains, super healthy, and Super Bowls.
Yeah, 100%. And they're not super healthy, frankly, but I mean, look, I wasn't too concerned about Aaron Glenn leaving. I was very concerned about Ben Johnson leaving. But this team, with
Hmm.
exception of week 1, where they're probably just figuring things out for the first time this season, they have not lost a step. This looks like the best team in the NFL, frankly, especially because of the Bills' loss. This week as well. So, yeah, 100% number one in my power rankings. Number one should be number one in everyone's power rankings at this point, because they pulled off 4 huge wins in a row here.
And the
And
Bills lost.
yeah, and the Bills lost. So, yeah, enough said about Detroit at this point. The Bengals, I mean, do we put them below the Ravens? Like, how do we do this?
The Joe Flacco Bengals, what do we do with them?
It's
Yeah,
I saw this
probably below the Ravens.
I saw this tweet about about this whole situation, and it it was really really funny. It said, you're in deep shit when you call the Browns for a quarterback."
Yeah. That is so fucking true.
That's exactly what the Bengals are doing. They called a lot of teams for their backups. They called the Niners for Mac Jones, but Mac Jones is the reason Mac Jones is in San Francisco is because Brock Purdy is injury prone and we need a good backup, and he's playing really well in the system. So obviously they're not going to
Hmm.
trade him, at least during the season.
They should have traded for Deshaun fucking Watson, dude.
Yeah, take on that contract. Oh man, that would have that would be such a Bengals move too. Trade for Deshaun Watson, and then you could have used that money to extend Trey Hendrickson, but you didn't. You gave him the 1-year deal or whatever.
Yeah, the
Uh,
1 year fuck you, you'll leave in the offseason, we'll get a compensatory pick deal.
yeah, man, that's funny. Oh, the Bengals suck, man. It's crazy.
Go Baker, fuck me for not picking them. I'm sorry, I'll never pick against you again, my king. Superhero, supervillain. Just kidding. Um, Honestly, they have an argument, but
They
probably just
do.
top of thriving.
I think so as well, and they're toe to toe with the Colts right now for me. The Colts are a little bit healthier,
Hmm.
which helps, I think. But yeah, doesn't really matter. Very negligible difference. The reason I picked against them was because I thought the injury issues would persist here, and they are very injured. But man, it just shows you that Todd Bowles is probably actually a really good coach. Despite being very shaky over his career as a head coach, he's done a very good job, and Baker Mayfield is an MVP candidate for sure this year. Mika Ibuka,
100%.
let me
Should be
pronounce
number
that
two.
correctly. Mika Ibuka is playing like a rookie.
Big boo.
Yeah, big boo. Yeah, he's playing like a rookie of the year, 100%. So they're such an impressive football team. They're pulling off these really clutch victories as well, and I get it. You know, I get the argument of one score victories and not being sustainable, and Vitor has been talking about that for weeks. But you can't deny clutch when you see it in front of your eyes. You just can't deny clutch. And that's what this team is right now. It's very, very clutch.
100%. I couldn't agree more. They have the biggest baller as their quarterback in the NFL, and nobody can take that away from them. So,
Yeah. And bouncing back after kind of a shaky week in Philadelphia, at least I thought it was. That's a huge deal as well. That looks really good for his resume there. And Seahawks, not an easy team to beat. They are a tough football team. This is a good football team, and they're at the top of bougie right now for me. They are dealing with some injuries as well. I mean, every team is at this point, right? But yeah, you really, it feels like you have to win that game, especially in order to stay ahead in this tough division. You know, the Rams are 3-2, the 49ers are 4-1, and have the tiebreaker over you so far. So, yeah, a tough loss for them. They also were down a lot in the first half, which was kind of brutal too. You know, there were a lot of factors that led to the loss, but still a very good football team. Still will make noise in December, so they can't dock them too much for that.
the New England Patriots and my absolute honey boo boo sugar daddy pimpin' celebrity crush Drake fucking May has the biggest wiener in the NFL for a white boy. These bitches are bougie, man.
And they are very bougie right now. The coaching,
Very fucking bougie.
they are being coached well. That was my big issue over the first couple of weeks with the Patriots. Like I just don't
It's
see the
clicking.
coaching advantage, but now it's really starting to take form. Winning a big game against the Bills in prime time on the road, so now you have the home advantage next time you play them. Yeah, huge victory. Very, very clutch as well. Drake May is putting together a nice collection of games now. It feels like he's finally, breaking out after, he was a raw prospect. So it's really good to see that happen and it come together. The Patriots, hey, look, my Panthers take going into the year about them making the playoffs, not looking very good, okay? But the other two teams that we both had, I think, the Jaguars and the Patriots, looking pretty good. I just got to say.
Hey, I have a lot of Trevor Lawrence and Drake May ownership in fantasy, so I'm cooking with that right now. I'm actually looking pretty solid for once. But yeah, there's this meme going around. It's from Dexter's Laboratory, the cartoon growing up with the little orange-haired kid, where he's clutching his heart and he's crying a little bit, but he's looking up at this glowing portrait. And edited into it is Drake May with the caption, "Drake May stunt on these hoes." And I love it.
Yeah. They're playing very good football. Christian Gonzalez, when he's healthy, is a game changer too. I mean, we're talking top 5 corner at this point, I think. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations,
Next up,
Washington,
we got the Hannibal Lecters.
passing on him. All right, yeah.
You got the Hannibal Lecters, top of thriving, or are they still superhero Super Bowls?
Well, I don't think that they're the best team in the AFC right now. I really don't. And we're gonna get to the best team in the AFC in just a minute.
Oh
here.
yeah.
So I think they're right here again, right next to the Bucks and the Colts here for the top of actually thriving. You can put them any way you want, really. Doesn't matter to me. But look, I've
Wait, Anthony.
yes.
You haven't seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
I
yet,
haven't seen
have
it
you?
yet. No, it's
You
been on my list for a
son
long
of a
time.
Bitch. You're not gonna get the reference. That's so painful.
Well, you can still say it if you want.
Okay, so you know the song. This was all over when this movie came out of death looming.
Okay.
And it's just that whistling sound. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mhm.
Okay. That's playing 24, like the 24-hour loop. They got that playing outside of the Kansas City practice facility because they are fucked. They are fucked.
Well, real quick, because I do have a quick take on the Bills here before we move on.
Okay.
But I love that lead in for the Chiefs. I have real issues, and I've expressed it for a few weeks now with the Bills. I expressed it all last season with the Bills. They have a real coaching problem up in Buffalo. Not bought in with Sean McDermott. I don't think he's a good coach at all. I think it's a bottom 10 NFL head coach. I think he could have been fired last season. He maybe should have been fired last season. And he's, again, doing very similar things to what we saw last season. And then Joe Brady, I don't understand why he gets head coaching buzz.
Bro's the biggest Joe Brady hater.
I can't stand him. I think his scheme is absolutely dog shit. I'm watching that football game on Sunday night, and it really is you're going against a great run defense, and so James Cook was very limited in this game. But it really was a Josh Allen, go make a play. Josh Allen, go make a play. Josh Allen, go make a play. Why aren't we scheming anybody open on these passing downs? Why aren't we getting the ball out quickly? Josh Allen probably had an average time to throw of 5 seconds in that game because everything just takes forever to get going. He has to flush out of the pocket because nobody's open. I don't understand what Joe Brady's doing with the play calling. I think this is one of the worst called offenses in the entire league, and it's been masked because Josh Allen and James Cook have been so dominant over the last couple of years. I hate this offense because of Joe Brady.
Well, to be fair to Joe Brady, he was originally hired underneath Ken Dorsey, so you learn from the best.
Yeah. But
so the Chiefs, they're dead men walking. I am gonna fight for this. They are fucking dead men walking. Taylor Swift's album is bombing. Her fans hate her now. It's not selling. People are realizing that she's a sellout and that she doesn't care about you guys. All she cares about is the money. We all know this. It's just finally good that the women are realizing it for once. But yeah. The Chiefs is going bad right now. Nothing can go right for them. They're gonna lose to the Lions this week. They're gonna be 2-4. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
And they are gonna be dead men walking.
You do make a great point. I just think I think the dead men walking has come in a week too early here. And there are a couple of reasons. And one of them is not even because of anything that the Chiefs did or didn't do on Monday. It's because of what the Chargers.
Yeah, it's what Taylor Swift did.
It's because of what the Chargers didn't do on Sunday, which is win. And so the Chiefs are still only a game back, 2 games for all intents and purposes with the tiebreaker in week 1. So that is one of the things that's hinging it for me. And then the other thing too is we've been fairly critical of Patrick Mahomes over the last couple years in he's been a solid enough quarterback. Obviously, they're winning a lot of football games. They won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. They appeared in a Super Bowl last year, but he has not been a strength to this football team over the last couple of years. He's been very pedestrian, frankly. But this year, he is playing like 2020, 2021 Patrick Mahomes again. I really think so. I think he's playing really excellent football. I do really hate the bullying of the refs as well. We can really, have a whole rant about the officiating in this game, and for the Jaguars to overcome all of that bullshit that happened in this game is also really special of them, which is why we'll talk about them in a minute. But but really, I do think the performance of Mahomes, despite the losses and the fact that they're only a game back of this division still, through 5 weeks. And it's not like the Raiders are competing, and, the Broncos are up here as well. So they're game back of 2 teams. But as long as Mahomes is playing this well, I think that they are going to be annoying and pesky, which is kind of the point of creeping around, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just think when they lose this upcoming week, we can put them in dead men walking.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
We'll check the temperature again for sure next week. They may be in dead men walking, especially if the Broncos and Chargers win, which they have a good odds of both of them winning next week and the Chiefs losing. So, we'll definitely check the temperature on that next week. Now,
Jaguars.
Do we do it? I mean, do we really?
We gotta do it.
I think so, man.
We gotta do it.
Look.
They're the best team in the AFC right now. If they play anybody else in the AFC, I'm probably picking the Bills. I'm probably picking the Chargers. I'm just kidding.
I think they beat the Bills. They would be really tough with the Colts. I think that's a 50-50 coin toss right now.
That
So
one's really close.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think the Colts are actually number 3 here. We had them
I'm
number
okay with
5. I
that.
think the Colts are number 3 because they are out of these 3 teams. I think they are the toughest game against the Jaguars right now. Just speaking right now,
It's
obviously.
crazy how we were downing Shane Steichen, and a quarterback as bad as Daniel Jones is already showing how good Shane Steichen
Yeah, I
is.
mean, look, coaching has been a huge plus. The run game's been a huge plus. The defense has been very good, and they have depth everywhere, which is makes sense. And Daniel Jones, like I said, I liked the ceiling with Jones way more than with Richardson. I thought the ceiling with Richardson was 5-12 essentially, and that was my prediction for them as well, 5-12 with Richardson. With Jones, I was like 8-9, 9-8. They'll be tough in December, but they are playing really great football right now. Like it's just undeniable, man. And
I think
so
they've already surpassed my season-long win total prediction for them.
I mean, they're halfway to mine essentially. So
Yeah.
look, but the Jaguars are also playing excellent football. You'd like to think that after that game against the Chiefs on primetime that Trevor Lawrence has really figured it out now. He threw a couple of really perfect passes. Like you couldn't have handed it
Dude,
to them better.
that fourth quarter is some of the most watchable tape of all time. It is just so eye-grabbing.
Hmm.
The throw, like I can't remember the exact. Okay, so he split a safety coming down on a fade route and the corner trailing the receiver and dropped it right in the bucket, and it wasn't a hospital pass. He got his receiver to safety
Hmm.
on the throw. And it was the only place that the ball could be thrown. And
Hmm.
it was like 40 yards downfield opposite line. Like he was on the opposite hash. And it was the kind of throw where my friend at the time like had just talked about how he's Trevor Lawrence's biggest hater. I immediately texted him. I was like, "Dude, what a fucking throw." And he was like, "I can't even hate on that."
Yeah, look, that was a perfect one. You said it. You dropped it right in the bucket. He had another one right after that I thought was equally as impressive. And look, the team is just coming together. Travis Hunter was really impressive on both sides of the ball this week as well. So he's finally, I think, breaking out here. Brian Thomas Jr. no longer having really drop issues either. They fought against the refs in this game too, which was really really cool to
Oh
see.
yeah, like one of the worst no call pass
Oh my
interferences
God.
I've ever seen.
Unbelievable. But that there should have been a pass interference on that play. Two crucial pass interference calls should have been made on the Chiefs in this game. That one was absolutely brutal, and it was a turnover because it was an interception.
And then they should have called it on the Travis Kelce touchdown.
Yes, the offensive pass interference. And I understand you can make contact within a yard. The contact is
It was
being
5
sustained.
yards downfield.
It wasn't 5 yards. The line of scrimmage was
It felt
at the
like
2. The contact was being sustained at the goal line. That's 2 yards downfield. That's not within 1 yard. That's 2 yards downfield. How are we not calling that offensive pass interference? And they had the flag. They threw the flag out. And then the Chiefs players came over and complained about it, and they picked up the flag. What is that? What is that? I'm sorry.
It
That
lost
is
my friend
pathetic.
his fantasy league. If Travis Kelce doesn't get that touchdown, he wins.
Yeah, look.
Not even making that up.
Look, there's just so many reasons to hate the Chiefs every year, and it's continuing. They're losing football games. They're losing, and you still don't care about it. You don't feel bad for them because they're so unlikable.
They were 2-2 going away against a team that is 3-1, and my coworkers were still saying, "I honestly think we killed the Jags. I think we're gonna blow them out." Shut the fuck up! Just stop talking. Just stop talking, Chiefs fans.
And-
Except for our comments. Our comments are okay.
Well, I mean, for that game, nothing happened. We only get engagement on the games that we lose, and it's really frustrating. Jaguars fans, show us some love, man. Go comment in our comments on TikTok and Instagram and whatever. Like, show us.
Let me get a Duval.
Yeah. We picked you guys to win in this game when most people were picking the Chiefs. All right, and we deserve some credit for that one. All right, and I got the score.
Absolutely.
I didn't predict the score, but I said by a field goal. They're winning by a field goal, and that is exactly what happened. 31-28. Super happy with my take on that one.
And I just want to put this out there. the further we get into the season, the more you watch Trevor Lawrence, the more you're going to see Baker Mayfield in his play style, because he is going to run this offense exactly the same way that Baker ran the Liam Cohen offense last year, and it is going to be successful for the entire season. I think that this team is not going to fall off. I think they are legit, and I do think the Jags have serious one seed potential this season.
I mean, yeah, they're certainly looking like it right now. Devin Lloyd is breaking out. The defense really played well last week. So
Mhm.
they're going to ride this momentum moving forward. And yeah, serious AFC contender. Obviously, they have to fend off the Colts, which is our number 3 team. But look, I mean that is a fun division battle if I've ever seen one. So
Bye week winner of the week. Who do we have here? I think who won the bye week? Probably the Falcons, right?
you think so?
Had a wishy-washy season so far. Obviously it's a week 5 bye week, so nobody is really winning the bye week. Everyone's kind of just like, God damn it, why do we have to take our bye week?
Hmm.
But I think if we're talking about those 4 teams, the Falcons have had a really wishy-washy season so far. They get time to kind of reset, be like, hey, this is what we're like, this is what our problem has been in all of our games. We need to figure it out. We're going to take these steps to address it. We got this team at this time. Let's go get them. So I think that's the Falcons. Yeah, I think the Falcons are the winner of the bye week.
Okay. Do you think they have warranted moving past Crypt Keepers, which is now creeping around, or are they still in that tier here?
They're in between the Texans and Panthers perfectly.
Okay, cool. The Bears also were in Crypt Keepers last week. I again don't see any reason to move them anywhere else. They're going to be a frisky football team. They're going to pull off some good wins here. So, do we want them ahead of the Falcons, behind the Falcons? You sound like pretty high
I
on
would
the
say
Falcons.
right behind the Texans.
Right behind the Cowboys. Is that what you said?
I said right behind the
Texans.
Texans, above the
Okay.
Falcons.
Okay. All right. Then the Packers as well. We had them at top of Bougie last week after a
They
loss
definitely
and then a
belong in
tie.
Bougie still.
Yeah, Bougie makes a lot of sense.
Honestly,
Probably,
probably still the top.
yeah. I don't see a problem with that at all. So yeah, that's good for me. Now
Steelers. Okay.
this is my buy team of the week actually. I hear your arguments and I agree with a lot of what you said about the Falcons, but the reason that the Steelers take it for me is number one, they just won a game overseas in Dublin, Ireland, and now they get a week break from that. And they start the season 3-1 after 4 games, and that's a big achievement as well for them. But also, just take a look at that. Now they can. Did I lose audio? Are we here?
You're back.
We're still okay.
Yep.
They were able to take a week to take stock of what they've got in this division, and they are sitting at 3-1. Maybe not the prettiest 3-1, but 3-1 as it is. And the rest of their division is dead men walking, borderline funeral time. And that is looking really nice for the Steelers here. Like they could be serious buyers at the trade deadline. I could totally see that. Getting maybe another pass catching weapon there or another player, in the secondary or something like that that can really help bolster this team to make a good deep playoff run. And so I think their ability to take stock of what they've got after an impressive start, frankly, and the rest of their division really stinks. So where are they on here? They're also in Bougie. I'm cool leaving them in Bougie there. They lost to the Seahawks
Yeah.
pretty convincingly earlier in the season, so
I
I
put
think
them
that's
below the
okay.
Rams.
Okay, that's fine too. But yeah, that's my buy team of the week, and now they're playing against the Browns this week, which didn't have a bye week after going overseas, so that's kind of brutal for the Browns. But yeah, that's our tier list. I am very happy with our tier list this week. I think
I am too. I feel like we nailed it.
yeah, I think as the season goes on, of course, you have a better idea of what each team's going to look like. And of course, things can change drastically in the NFL any given Sunday, right? And especially with all the injuries, teams will get healthier, teams will get less healthy as the season progresses. But I think this is a really good gauge of really who is going to be contending this season. I frankly think that every team in the S and A tier here is probably making the playoffs. And then, of course, the rest, you can pick and choose in the bougie tier for the rest of them at this point, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good about this.
I am too.
just a quick recap. In the S tier, superhero, supervillains, super healthy Super Bowl, we've got the Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, we have one NFC and one AFC team for the theming. Then in the A tier, actually thriving, we've got the Indianapolis Colts, Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, San Francisco 49ers, Denver Broncos, Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Commanders. Then in Bougie, we've got the Packers, the Patriots, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Steelers, the Chargers, and the Vikings. Then in creeping around, we've got the Cowboys, the Texans, the Bears, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Chiefs. And then in Dead Men Walking, we've got the Saints, the Cardinals, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Bengals. And then in Funeral Time, we've got the Giants, the Dolphins, the Raiders, the Titans, and the Jets. Studs and duds. Do you have
Perfect.
any studs and duds of the week?
Stud of the week, Trevor Lawrence. That performance has to be stud of the week.
Good pick.
You picked Travis Etienne, right?
No. Fuck. I closed out my thing. Shit. I know my duds. That's for sure. One of my duds is the entire Arizona Cardinals team. That is one of the worst choke jobs I've ever seen in my life with any game, in any sport. Brutal stuff there. So that's one of my duds.
I would also go to say the entire Miami Dolphins team.
Yeah, that's you could even say, freaking Mike McDaniel's a dud. Oh, my other dud is Jake Browning. Losing your job to Joe Flacco. That's gotta sting.
Yeah, losing your job to the Browns backup.
That's gotta sting, man. Yeah. And my two studs, this one I guess shouldn't really count because
Wait. Does this mean that Shadur is number 2 on the depth chart now?
yeah, he is.
Oh no,
is.
he got a promotion.
He's getting closer and closer.
His poor ego.
Like that Cleveland Browns game in week 16 or whatever, whenever he gets his first start, it's going to be the most watched game of the season.
He's gonna throw for like 120 for 1 touchdown on like 12 attempts. And people are going to be like, dude, he's so good, just give him more time. Give him more attempts. Let him do it.
What if he has
can do it.
What if he has a Nathan Peterman game?
That'd be perfect. Oh my god, it'd be beautiful. Dude, there's the clip going around right now of the so fucking annoying Eagles girl fan saying, "You took Jackson Dart over Shadur Sanders."
Yes, we did. He's better.
Dude, she made a post pre-game against the Broncos saying that she'll do whatever the top comment says, and she had to take a homeless guy out on a date.
Oh, yeah. That's why you don't do that kind of stuff. I saw one.
Poor homeless guy.
I saw one guy. I saw one guy do that, and the first one was castrate yourself. Obviously, he didn't go through with
Yeah.
it, but that's why you don't say those things on the internet.
Right. Yeah, what the second top comment was, let the homeless guy impregnate her.
Oh, gee, yeah. See, there you go. Like, yeah. Well, hey, look, the homeless guy got a free meal. That's pretty cool. Go homeless
Yeah,
guy,
true. Good for him.
There are silver
Hopefully
linings
he got
to
a triple
everything.
dipper at Chili's.
Ain't no 3 for me bullshit in this house. We need a triple dipper. We've had Chili's appreciation on this show before, but I hope they don't close.
Yeah.
That's a great restaurant.
Yeah, me too. We support Chili's,
Yes,
bro.
yeah. Chili's supremacy reigns on this podcast.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be on the TikTok, by the way. First pick, because this is the Thursday night game. Oh no, this is the international game. Okay, we'll do the Thursday night game, and then I'll do the international. I want dibs on the Broncos. I want to headline that one.
Okay, I got it. Real quick, my studs of the week. One of them maybe doesn't count because he's a household name, but Baker Mayfield. I mean, unreal performance again, just playing immaculate football, frankly. And then the other one, Ja'Cory Grosky-Merritt. Really dominated against the Chargers this week. I was really upset about it because I needed Chris Rodriguez to get some touches, and he got 2 in the fourth quarter, so that was fun. But well done, Ja'Cory. Well done, Bill. You know,
Bill. Just call me Bill.
you're making a name for yourself as a 7th round pick, and that's not a long list of guys. So well done.
Dude, okay, so Ja'Cory Cross-Camara, just call me Bill. That's even fucking greater because his name's abbreviation is JCM, just call me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I I didn't know that. I didn't catch that part of it until now.
Yeah, man. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool
But
stuff.
another shout out, Jonas Sanker of the Saints. He's been a fucking baller for a late round pick, so
Yeah.
we have something going for us.
Yeah. Spencer Rattler's been good. I mean, frankly, let's be real here. He's been good.
Unfortunately.
Which means you
Please
won't
stop,
take a
Rattler.
quarterback in the draft.
I swear, if Rattler prevents us from taking an Oklahoma first round quarterback, like we had the opportunity to take John Mateer in the first round and he goes like a couple picks after us, I will have a reaction worse than the Jordan Love reaction. I don't know. It'll be visceral though. I don't know.
Who is the Cesar Ruiz of this draft? What do you? Who is that gonna be?
One of these Clemson D linemen who's gonna turn out like Brian Bruzzy and be fucking useless.
Yeah, that's probably a better analogy. Also a Saint. I can't believe Brian Bruzzy
Yeah.
is a bust, man. That's so unfortunate. I can't believe it.
Well, the Saints picked him, so you knew he wasn't gonna hit his potential
Yeah.
until he leaves New Orleans.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, he'll go to fucking like Detroit or something next and break out.
Also, notice how all those Clemson D linemen haven't been good since Brent Venables left.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like coaching is a big deal in football. Every
Yeah.
week
And player development.
Every week we're reminded of that, and some people just forget sometimes.
Yeah, which it makes even less sense that North Carolina is like the worst college football team.
Oh, come on. Bill Belichick doesn't care. He's got his supermodel girlfriend waiting for him at home.
Yeah,
doesn't
he
care.
just did that so he could talk to the recruits' moms.
Yeah. He's looking for another. He's looking to be another sugar daddy for someone else too. I guess I don't know, but
Yeah, he's like, so you want more playing time, huh? Gonna call up Mrs. Jackson.
God. All right. Well, all right. Let's run through these pick'ems here. We're a little over an hour already, so this should be nice and simple though, nice and sweet. All right.
Yep.
Thursday night football.
Got a lot of easy picks this week.
A lot of easy ones and a lot of tough ones, I think. But Thursday night football, Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. Both of them coming off of losses last week. Philly's their first. This is one of the ones that is not tough, in my opinion. Not quite survivor
give me the
territory for
Eagles.
me because it is prime time, but definitely picking the Eagles. Very safe pick for the Eagles. It's going to be a bounce back game for them against a bad run defense. Expect Saquon to have 25 touches on the ground. And-
1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you have a bold take for this game? Like maybe the Giants score first or something?
I just think the Eagles kill them, honestly. But the Giants did beat the Eagles. Oh fuck, that's right. I was gonna say, when was the last time the Giants even beat the Eagles? It was the fucking wait, no, it wasn't. Never mind. It was just a random game. But it was January 7th, so it has me confused. Is that not playoff time yet?
That's week 18.
That's just week 18.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that
okay.
yeah, so Eagles probably resting starters.
Yeah, so the last time the Giants beat the Eagles while the Eagles were actually starting starters would have been November 28th of 2021. So
Yeah.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Ownage is ownage is ownage.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta when you're in division with someone and they call it a rivalry, there's supposed to at least be within 60% win rate. It can't be
Yeah.
It's not much of a rivalry.
What is the all-time win percentage now? Eagles all-time win percentage against the Giants. Um, Eagles lead the overall
93,
series.
87, and 2. So it's actually really close.
Well, according to Wikipedia, it's 96, 89 too, but somewhere in that ballpark, yeah. But I mean, that makes sense, historically. Let's see over the last 10 years per StatMuse. The Giants over the last 10 years are 4-16 against the Eagles in the regular season. So there you go. There's the ownage. That is multiple coaching
Hey.
regimes for the Eagles as well. It hasn't been the same regime each time, and of course the same can be said for the Giants too. But the Giants have been bad for 10 years. So
Dude, funnily enough, the Aints have a positive record all time against all of their division rivals.
really, that's actually pretty surprising. Though the NFC
Yeah.
South is a fairly new division.
Mhm.
So like the Falcons weren't in the division before, and whatnot. So
Right.
um,
Yeah, so they own the Buccaneers like bad, and then they're like one game above 500 against the Panthers and the Falcons.
mm,
So
all right,
shout out New Orleans.
yeah,
That'll change in a couple years.
yeah. This year,
Yeah,
maybe, right? You still play all six division opponents.
hey, we somehow beat the Falcons last year, so maybe we can manufacture something this year.
Hmm. You beat the
But
Panthers too.
yeah, we did. See,
Yeah.
so we might. Yeah, history repeats itself. But all right, the Broncos are visiting Britain to take on the New York Jets, not the New England Jets. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, I am going to be taking the fucking Broncos. Fuck the Broncos, but fuck the Jets more
Mhm.
because the Jets ruined the career of Zach Wilson. So give me give me the Broncos to win. I don't care if you pick the Jets. You're just trying to be contrarian. The Broncos are better than them at every single position, except for maybe Brees Hall. So they're gonna fucking win. I don't care. The Broncos are winning. There, Broncos country, you got it. You're a good team. Take your win and leave it.
There you go, Broncos country. Hopefully you guys find this clip as well of your team if it becomes a clip. We'll see.
We're doing
Um,
all the hashtags. You better be on your feed,
Yeah. Yeah, so you could give us credit this time, especially me because I deserve it from last week. But yeah, look,
Yeah.
sometimes overseas games, even when it's a bad opponent, they can be tough to pick. But I mean, the Broncos have so much momentum. The Jets, like, I mean, they can't catch a cold right now, really, with anything. Just nothing is working for them. They're super undisciplined, just playing really awful football. They're the worst team in the league for that reason. So, Broncos win. Let's ride. Uh, Next up, the Sunday slate of football games. First up, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers off the bye at home here. Cleveland Browns, like I said before, overseas game last week, no bye week in between. So that's a really tough break for them to be on the road again and no bye week. Steelers, this is not going to be close, I don't think, really. They've had an extra week to prepare. Like I said, they've been able to take inventory of the season so far, and I think they're happy with where they're at. And this is going to be a really tough one for the Browns.
I shout out to Cameron. I got a gut feeling.
Mhm.
And when I have a gut feeling, it typically means I'm going to pick the team that's going to lose. So give me the Cleveland Browns here. I'm going to be riding with my boy Dylan Gabriel to get it done on the RPO schemed offense. I think that their defense is going to be honestly good enough to hold this Steelers offense to jack and shit. So it's probably going to be like a 14-13 win.
Okay.
But definitely could be more like 15-13 win if they want to just get 5 field goals, But they'll have to get good field position to do that. So we'll see.
All right. Yeah. Look, I don't hate the pure like upset. Just got a feeling pick here because the Browns, like I said, are a frisky team. So it's certainly possible, but there's just a lot of momentum in the Pittsburgh's favor for this one. So it's tough to pick against them right now. And I think I want to be a little bit safer this week because I've taken some big risks, some big swings over the last couple of weeks, and they have not paid off quite as well as I'd
Yeah.
wanted them to. So, yeah. But next up, the LA Chargers looking to bounce back after a loss last week against the Miami Dolphins, who look totally out of sorts as per usual this
And
season.
boy, do I tell you, if you were gonna bounce back against any team, boy, is it the Miami Dolphins. So give me the LA Chargers to take advantage of this favorable scheduling here and get a win.
Yeah, 100%. I'm very curious to see what this rushing attack looks like this week, if they're going to really abandon it again, like they have the last couple weeks, now that Omari Hampton's down. But I want to see Kamani Vidal get some touches. He's been on this team. He's a very solid runner, I think, and just hasn't had an opportunity. Now's your opportunity. Take advantage of it. Okay.
Man, I thought Isaiah Spiller was gonna be the shit.
Hey, there was talent there. Just, again, not much opportunity.
Fuck, dude, who do I pick for this game?
The Seahawks at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Seahawks off a tough loss last week, but the Jaguars playing really excellent football, really clutch football as well. One of the tougher matchups of the week. But
No, not this one. Sorry, the Jags are winning. But I was talking about the Titans and Raiders.
Oh,
I was talking about that
okay.
heaping pile.
That's an. Oh no, I thought you just said it's a tough game. I didn't hear the pile of shit part. That's an afternoon game, so we're saving that. I want to do the morning slate first.
Got it.
But yeah, so I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm leaning them this game. They're healthier. They have more momentum going into this one. A really tough emotional win on Monday, which is maybe perhaps a reason to suggest that the Seahawks can pull off a win in this one because of the amount of stock that was put into that Chiefs game. But I just think the Jaguars are a better team right now, and they're going to create a couple turnovers, which they've been doing each week.
Absolutely. They're just the better team here. I mean, they're at home. We've seen the Seahawks are good, but they have weaknesses. I think I trust in Liam Cohen to find those weaknesses on defense, get enough points. Probably not a lot, but I think they'll probably score around 20, beat the Seahawks 2017, close scoring game. But I think the Jags will probably be ahead for all of it.
All right. Next up, the LA Rams off of a mini bye because of the Thursday night game up against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Once again, Lamarless. I think they're going to just shut him down until the bye week next week, which makes a lot of sense. But at this point, at the same time, if you don't play him this week, it doesn't even matter.
They're going to be out of the playoff.
Yeah,
contention.
does it even matter? Especially if the Steelers win. That is such a hill or such a hole to climb yourself out of. That is brutal, and your defense still really sucks. So I'm taking the Rams. They're pissed off. They've lost two tough ones straight, and off the extra rest and against a really depleted football team, maybe it gets ugly. This might be my survivor pick of the week.
Yeah, if the Texans can beat you 40-6, the Rams are gonna beat you at any score. I don't know. It could be closer, but they're not going to lose. So I'm taking the Rams.
All right. The Arizona Cardinals with the catastrophic loss last week against the Indianapolis Colts, who look unstoppable, frankly. Another one that's
Buzzsaw meets choppable wood.
Yeah. Another one that is very much in survivor pick category or territory for me. The Colts should win this, 100 times out of 100. They're just such a dominant football team, and the Cardinals are kind of collapsing here. They're running out of gas very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is this afternoon? It is afternoon. Interesting. All right. Next up, the San Francisco 49ers on a mini bye. On the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both of them impressive wins last week, and so this could be a very tough game. Naturally, I'm going to pick
this would be game of the week if the Chiefs weren't guaranteed to lose.
Yeah, maybe. But look, I have my obligation to pick the 49ers in this one, but I really think that they're going to lose this one here. The Buccaneers are just really, really tough offensively to stop in any capacity, really. And I think that the 49ers they can be equipped to do it. And so I'm not expecting a crazy high scoring game here, but I am expecting the Buccaneers to make an extra play. But I'm picking my Niners still.
Yeah, I am obviously going to be riding with my boy Baker Mayfield. We all expected it. I did ride with the Niner gang last week, and I'm glad I did, as I was correct. Fuck you, Rams. But just want to say the Bucks are the better team here, but this is a very close game. I don't think they're the better team by a lot. I think that if this was a healthy Niners team and a healthy Bucks team, I think that they could be toe to toe for number one seed in this conference.
Mhm.
So, all things considered, I'm going to be taking the Bucks because they're at home mostly. But if this was in San Francisco, it would probably be a Niners pick. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, really tough one indeed. If the Niners were just a little bit healthier, we could see this sway the other way. Maybe if Nick Bosa played, or maybe if Ricky Pearsall would play, one of these guys that is a needle mover on this team. If they play in this game, then
Mm-hmm.
you're thinking otherwise. But right now, leaning Bucks, still picking Niners. Next up, believe this is the last morning
Wait, real
slate.
quick, I just thought about something.
Yeah.
The Bucks should trade for Mark Andrews. The Ravens are dwindling. They don't give a fuck about Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews and Baker Mayfield have been best friends because they were fucking amazing together in Oklahoma. That would be an amazing fit for the Bucks. Get Mark Andrews in Tampa Bay
Yeah, I could see that.
at the
I could
trade
see that,
deadline.
and it's pretty unfortunate for Kate Otten, who I like, but has gotten like no volume at all this year so far. So they could be looking to upgrade in that position, but maybe they just don't value that position either. So it could be a tough ask
Right.
both ways. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Interesting thought
So
though.
are we going Panthers Cowboys next?
Yes, this is the last morning slate game. We've got the Dallas Cowboys
you
at the
you
Carolina Panthers.
you are. You said you were.
Yeah,
Take it
look,
away, dude.
Look, man, the Panthers have disappointed me pretty much every week, whether I pick them or not, which is really, really upsetting because I want this team to be good. I think this team is capable of being good, and I think that this is a week where the Cowboys have had a couple of really nice performances. The tie against Green Bay, which they were written off as losing, the big win against the Jets, granted the worst team in the NFL. So I think that again, a lot of signs point toward Dallas here. And when they met last season, Dallas kind of blew them out. So again, signs are pointing towards Dallas, but I have a feeling about the Panthers this week. I'm hoping that they can string together a few games here, and really, really make some noise in the NFC South because no, not really the NFC South, but in the wild card race in the NFC, because I feel like the NFC is still very top heavy. And if a team like the Seahawks does lose this week against the Jaguars and then the Panthers win, now they have the same record. They're both the 3-3 record then. So now you're like really gathering some momentum into the gritty stretch of the season. So I am taking the Panthers. I think it's a very close game, and the Cowboys are certainly capable of winning this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be riding with Dallas here. It's the pick to make. They have the better offense. I mean, if you were telling me one team has Dak Prescott and one team has Bryce Young, who are you picking? You're taking the Dak Prescott one. I understand completely that the Panthers have a significantly better defense than the Cowboys. But when we're talking about who has the better what, the quarterback is very, very important on that list. And the coach is arguably the second most important, but the coach can only do so much if his talent is weak. And Dave Canales as a coach, I would say, is probably better than the Cowboys are with Brian Schottenheimer. But it can't actually be actualized because his quarterback is Bryce Young. So I'm going to be taking the Cowboys here. I think they're going to be better, more sound on offense. I think they have more talent on offense, even without CeeDee Lamb. I know Ted McMillan is a dog. Doesn't matter if the quarterback doesn't get the ball to him. But it's just kind of what will the Cowboys defense look like in this game? And I think that's what dictates what happens.
Yeah,
But I think they do enough to stop Bryce Young.
I'm totally with you there on what if the Cowboys defense can get pressure on Bryce Young, then yeah, the Cowboys probably would look stupid not to win this game, right? But like I've said, it's kind of my mantra for the Panthers, and I think it's rang true, even though I've gotten every pick for the Panthers wrong so far. But it's rang true. A Bryce Young under duress is a Bryce Young that makes mistakes, lots of them. And early in the game against Miami, he was under duress a lot, and he made a lot of mistakes. But once the offensive line shored up, once he got more confident in the pocket, that's when the great plays started to occur. So if something like that happens here, I think that the Panthers could be in the driver's seat, and because their defense is quite a bit better than Dallas's as well, and that could be a difference maker too. So I really like the upset pick here, but yeah, I can see either team winning this game. Okay,
Absolutely.
that's Monday Night Football, so we'll move back to the AFC versus NFC slate. We got the New England Patriots at the New Orleans Saints, another survivor pick contender here.
Please, Drake May, please do not fuck this up. Please get this win for the Patriots.
This would be
I'm riding with New England.
it's so funny because New England's played really good football the last few weeks, but this would be the game that they would lose, right? Like it really
This
could.
is such a winnable game for the Saints.
It is a winnable game for the Saints, but like man, I don't know. Like this is why this one is a survivor pick contender, but it's not going to be the one I pick because I can really see for some reason the Saints just pull off back-to-back wins here and really shake things up for the top pick contention, right? Which has been a big core theme for this episode so far. So I'm still picking the Patriots. I think that they should absolutely win this game by at least a score, but we'll see.
Wait, real quick, I just want you to go back to our tier list.
Yeah.
This week's. So, I just thought about this because I haven't brought it up yet. Patrick Mahomes is second in MVP odds right now. He's second place. His only two wins are over Funeral Time and Deadman Walking teams.
Yeah. No, I don't get the MVP odds for Mahomes. Look, by the actual definition of value, I would say, yeah, you could absolutely be in the conversation up there because he's played very good football, and without him, they might be 1-4, 0-5. Like you could say he's responsible directly for 1 to 2 of their 2 wins so far this year. But
But if you say that, then Joe Burrow is MVP last year.
sure, that's a fair argument as well. But if you're basing it on precedent of the league and who generally it wins MVP each year, Mahomes is not close. Frankly, it's not close. It's Baker Mayfield. It's Josh Allen again in the mix. It's Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, Indiana Jones is what the new nickname is, which I like.
I like it too.
All right. The Green Bay Packers off a bye up against the
Or Danny-Apples.
yeah. The Green Bay Packers off the bye up against the Cincinnati Bengals, led by Joe Flacco. Look, the Packers' only loss is against Joe Flacco on the Browns here. There's something brewing, we'll see. But really, I mean, all kidding aside, the Packers off a bye against a bad defense, whereas the Browns had a fantastic defense, and they still do. This one, Joe Flacco should not get the better of this team this time around.
Yeah, Packers definitely winning this game. Significantly better team. Their edge rushers will eat the Bengals. They just traded for Flacco, one of the most immobile quarterbacks, against this edge rushing team. He's going to get killed. He's going to go straight back to the couch. They'll get one game out of him, and he will not play another snap for the fucking Cincinnati Bengals. I'm sorry. Their season's over. Give me the Packers.
I will say, I think this game is either a shootout or a blowout. So the Packers are scoring 30 plus regardless, I think. But the Bengals could score like 28 and be 28-35 or 28-31 or whatever. And it's like surprisingly close, or they're going to score 6 points and the Packers will score 32, so.
They lost by what, 11 or 13 last week to the Lions,
11.
and that was surprisingly close.
11.
Yeah, they lost by 11 to the Lions, and that was surprisingly close.
Yeah.
So I would feel the same way about this game, to be honest.
Either way, the Packers win.
Yeah.
Either way. All right. That's Sunday Night Football. We have 2 Monday Night Football games again this week. That's stupid. It's week 6. All right. Last afternoon game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Las Vegas Raiders, our number 31 and number 30 for our power rankings. It's funny that we have it ranked that way because I think I prefer the Titans this week, and it would be so funny for the Titans to start winning games when they really could just lose a game and get Brian Callahan fired because he needs to be fired like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But if he wins another game, he's going to buy himself another week. And I think that's what happens. I think the Titans win against the Raiders, who are playing really awful football as well.
I'm riding with the Raiders here, dude. Pete Carroll's not as incompetent as Jonathan
He's
Gannon.
not.
So
And really,
I am
The
I'm
Raiders.
picking the Raiders purely out of trusting Pete Carroll.
The
to be
Raiders
honest.
should win this game. I'm not here to say like I'm an oracle who knows all everything. I'm not omniscient here, but I just think it'd be really funny if the Titans win. It would be so funny.
I would love it. Honestly, I want the Titans to go on a run so that way when the Saints beat them, it's even funnier for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. All right, Sunday Night Football. The Lions at the Chiefs. We've talked about it a couple times so far on the show, and we're both picking the Lions here. Kind of a no-brainer pick. They're number one team in the NFL right now. They have not looked back since their Week 1 loss. Kind of an unstoppable offensively and defensively. You know, they're maybe not as good yet as last season, but they're still a very solid unit all around. And the Chiefs, you know, as we said in our tier list segment too, not much going for them outside of Patrick Mahomes, referee bias, things that have happened in the past for them. But the rest of the team is just really, really not it. I do think Xavier Worthy can go off in this one and keep it close, but I'm still taking the Lions by a touchdown or 10 points.
Let me take a look see here. I want to see what the line is because I guarantee you I'm taking the Lions past the line. Oh my fucking god, the Chiefs are the favorite.
Seriously?
There's no fucking way.
It can't be more than 3.
It's 2.5.
That's still I like maybe like
The
minus
Lions
1.
are plus odds. They're plus odds on their money line.
Like maybe minus 1 or 1.5, like okay, whatever. But 2.5 is crazy for the Chiefs. I get it; it's at home, it's prime time, and they have super mega ref bias. But I mean, just don't overthink this. This has
Jared
Lions.
Goff is 12 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. How? What more do they need to see out of the guy? He's a dog.
This has Lions win written all over it, and that's precisely why the Lions will lose. But we're picking the Lions.
Tyquan Thornton is the Chiefs' leading receiver, and they are favorites against the best team in the NFL. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, no, So for those at home, Oklahoma is also an underdog this week. Technically speaking, neutral. Well, actually, it's a neutral site game, so Texas is the favorite in that game. Texas just lost to Florida. Florida had 3 sacks all season going into the Texas game and got 6 sacks on Texas alone. Oklahoma has the most sacks in the country. The second place team has a game on Oklahoma, and they are still 5 sacks less than Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going to fuck Texas up. They are not going to score on OU.
All right.
And even more on that, their third down efficiency, Texas, they only convert on 33% of their third downs. OU only allows conversions on 16% of third downs.
Oof. A bad
OU winning.
A bad third down team versus a very good third down team. Yeah, that's kind of yikers.
Yeah, just parlay the Lions and Oklahoma money line, and you're golden. Free money, dude.
Watch them both lose for no fucking reason.
Dude, that would be the most Jacob thing possible to happen.
All right. 2 more games here. We got the Falcons coming off a bye on Monday Night Prime Time. 4:15 prime
Falcons
time.
Off the bye against the Bills at home.
Yeah.
Dude, this has Falcons win written all over it. Give me the Bills.
All right. Fair enough. Now, that said, I am actually going to be picking the Falcons here. I mentioned my hangups with the Bills when we talked about them on the tier list, but I think that the extra preparation can help the Falcons here, and at home I think helps as well. But the big thing here is the difference in rushing attacks. Like, James Cook is very good, but he was shut down against a good run defense in New England last week. And if Atlanta can stop the run at a decently high level, I think that the Bills become a one-dimensional offense once again. And whereas on the opposite end, their run defense is bad. And Bijan Robinson and the Atlanta Falcons offense is one of the more efficient rushing attacks in the NFL. So I think the game is decided on the ground in this one. And so whichever rushing attack has the better day, I think is the team that wins. And I'm just predicting the Falcons to have the better rushing day.
I mean, I think that's totally fair, but I also think if they just tell Michael Penix, hey, you have a top 5 receiver in the league, fucking throw it to him, they could just throw the ball to Drake London and Drake London could go for 150 on this
Yeah.
defense. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
This is a team that Drake London cooks. Inside, outside, doesn't matter. He beats them deep, beats them inside, beats them short, anywhere. He can win with any of his routes, and they need to be dealing to him all game.
think that's
Him and
reasonable
Pitts
too.
both.
Yeah, that's a reasonable
Especially with Milano out.
take. That middle field's open.
But yeah,
Okay.
I'm just trusting in the Lord and Savior Josh Allen.
All right. Primetime rematch from last season. Was that a primetime game or was that 2 seasons ago? I think it was 2 seasons ago.
No, it's prime time.
Okay. Anyway, we got the Washington Commanders at home against the Chicago Bears, who are off of a bye.
Yeah, dude, what are you talking about? Was that prime time? This is literally the fucking Hail Mary where the
yeah.
Bears defender was saying "fuck you" to the fans. And
I
then
thought
lost
I thought
the
it was an
game.
afternoon game, not a primetime
Oh
game.
no, this was like nighttime, like middle. I swear to God, it was nighttime.
Bears, Commanders. I'm just curious. I know they played Thursday night football 2 years ago, and the Bears won that game quite a bit. Bears, Commanders, 2024 season. Doesn't give me the time. Let's see. Well, tell me the start time.
It would tell the kickoff. Yeah, go to all plays and then scroll to the bottom. Click, so it's in the middle.
Oh, okay, I see.
Oh wait, no, it's at the top
Full
because
play.
it'd be.
First quarter. Just says
It
oh,
doesn't say the-
125.
Oh, there
yeah,
you go.
125.
What the fuck? I could have sworn that was
Well,
night. I don't know
keep
why.
in mind it was late October, so like
Oh, so it was dark outside.
yeah.
That's what it was because this was East Coast, so that would have been like 7 p.m. when that happened. So that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's your pick for this matchup here, this go around?
Dude, this is tough. And this might lean on the Bears are overrated, but I really want to pick them. Like my gut is telling me Bears. I feel Bears, but they're not the better team. The Commanders are at home. If I pick the Bears, I'm picking it just off vibes. So give me the Commanders. I'm gonna be reasonable here. We're picking the Commanders.
All right. Well, thank God you're not making a sweep here because I'm picking the Bears as well. I'm picking, I think, the two upset picks on Monday here. I have a feeling about them as well this week. I think the bye week can help them. But also,
I think we'll probably split. I think that one of those games, the Bears or Falcons, has to win.
I think so
There's no
too.
way that those two games. Yeah.
I think one
Don't
of those
bet on
games-
either of our picks in those games.
Yeah, I think one of those games the upset wins. I'm hoping both of them because I picked both of them. But and you picked the two favorites. I picked the two upsets. That's really good. Hopefully we go 1-1. We split that. But
Yeah.
like I think obviously the Bears were very unfortunate to lose that one last season, and the teams are very different, so it's not even really worth mentioning it too much. But I think one of the things we said about the Commanders when we placed them in our tier list is that they're obviously a very good team, and you know Jaden Daniels is healthy again, and that's getting going. The run game's getting going. But in this one, you know, we mentioned some sloppy plays and some sloppiness there and not being able to execute early in the game. And I think that if the Bears can hold a lead, and it's crazy to say this because they blew week 1 after a huge lead, you know, it was only like 2 scores, but it felt huge, right? But
Right.
if they have a lead in the first half here, and knowing Ben Johnson and his mentality, I really don't think that the Bears ever look back from that. And so that's kind of what my vibe is from this game here. Just that the Bears will just be a one step ahead throughout the game and, you know, maybe a 28-24 victory, something like that.
That's what my gut says too. But I just, after, with this whole season, I have been horrible with betting. I have been horrible with picks. I have been horrible with fantasy. So I'm just picking favorites for right now. I just need to breathe, get a couple 10-win weeks under my belt, and just get back to regularity. And then I'm going to start getting back into my bag with the underdogs, I think. Last week was a wake-up call as far as the picks being so bad.
All right, that's respectable. That's fair as well. You know, I said I was taking it easy a little bit, but I was really just taking it easy with the fucking soul read ones like the Browns or the Titans.
Right, with the minus 700 games.
Yeah.
Dude, I think this plus 800 favorite is going to win. or plus 800 dog is gonna win.
Yeah. So we're not doing any of those this week for me, but I do have a couple of like toss-ups that are toss-ups in my opinion. That I'm picking the underdog in those ones, but yeah, should be an exciting.
Yeah, Bengals plus 675, dude. They're gonna get cooked.
Should be an exciting week ahead, and we're super excited to watch it. Let us know your thoughts about everything that we talked about in this one. If you have a hot take about something that's going on this week, if you give us your predictions as well too, give us your studs and duds from week 5. That's always fun as well. We like to try to talk about some under the radar players and give them some more appreciation, and then obviously call out big time players if they're playing horribly. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Right.
Any last words, Jacob?
Fuck the Broncos and Coast knows ball.
Coast does no ball. See you guys.